Hello, this is Dehesa and I am on the dot. I am so on time today. It is 2:13 and I scheduled this Facebook Live for 2:13 and I am here, right? For the first time ever, on time, right? Today's Facebook Live is about something that I myself personally have. Hi Magnifique, how are you? Hello, how are you? I have struggled quite a bit with this myself, and I am going to share this with you. It's about how so many of us, while in the process of being financially independent or emotionally independent from our spouses or our boyfriends or our significant others in our lives, in the process we actually sabotage ourselves, and in the process we actually block ourselves from the ability to fully and truly create, right? So while we're doing that, let me check and make sure that I share this into the group, and then we'll get going, I'm not going to be very long today because I have to pick up my kids in just about 30 minutes, so yeah. All right, so what's going on? It's Friday. What's going on in your world while I'm here chatting with you? Hello, who's here? All right. So let's do this. Hello, if you are joining us, please say hello. Thank you so much for being patient, and we'll get started in just a second. There you go, there we have it, right? All right, so again, it's Friday, and I'm sure a lot of people are heading on for their vacation and stuff like that, but I wanted to stop by because I wanted to share on this topic. This topic actually came up for one of my clients last week, and once we tackled it, it actually made things much smoother for her towards creating the growth that she wanted in her business, even creating her package, and really going forward with even marketing her package, right? So this is a subject. For me, I actually have struggled with this quite a bit in my life, which is why I can talk about it today. It's no secret, and I've shared so many times before, that I grew up in an environment which was very, I guess it's called patriarch environment, where like the man always had the last word in the household. And where a lot of the time women didn't have a voice, actually, a lot of the time, and it still goes on, right? And when I say that, I know a lot of the time, all of us talk about it as if we are the particular ones that had to deal with it. But even when I look, so I grew up not here, not in the United States, and I grew up in Togo, and even when I look around in the United States or other places that I have visited, I can clearly say that it's not something that is very particular to just one country or one area of the world, even though in some areas it's more pronounced than others, right? But like it's an experience that some people get to have and some people don't get to have. But for me, the way that I saw it was, okay, the man always had the last word and blah, 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 and the men had the power and stuff like that. And so when I ended up growing up, I'm quite the rebel, right? I'm quite the rebel. So when I ended up growing up, what I thought was, I will never be that, I will never be the one that that is depending on a man. I'll never be Papa. So it became a fight with myself, actually, of being independent, right? Of being independent, quote unquote. And even though when I had kids and I was home and stuff like that, it was like I don't want to show this part of myself. I have to, I have to be the one that is, self, I have to be, what do you call it? Financially independent. I have to be emotionally independent. I have to be on my own. I have to be able to do this on my own. And I realized after a while of doing that I kept doing the same thing and going back in circle and in cycles, actually. What ended up happening is whenever we are trying so hard not to do anything, not to do something, whenever we are trying so hard not to be in a certain situation, whenever we are trying so hard to escape from that particular reality, what we end up doing is creating that same reality over and over and over and over again. And so in my trials of being independent, what ended up happening was that I'll create a little bit of money and then I'll get back myself back into the same situation where, I need to, you see what I mean? Like get a little bit of a breather and then get myself back into the same situation. And how I see it now, the thing that shifted, the thing that I had to do to change all of this was to realize that actually, even though I was like consciously trying to be independent, right? I know this is such a not controversial topic, but it's kind of contradictory, kind of, right? Because I'm the one that always says, you have it all. You have it all. You can create anything. You can do anything, right? But not in fighting mode. Not in fighting mode. Because when we are fighting in the fighting mode, we keep creating the same thing over and over again. So my client I was talking about last week, what she was going through was the same thing, right? And she felt so much pressure that she needed to create this income. And whenever, like if you are a coach or if you are in business at all, whenever you feel pressure about creating an income, what ends up happening is actually doesn't happen quite often, right? It doesn't happen quite often. It actually becomes quite a block for you to create the income. And that was really keeping her from moving forward, and because she had so much pressure. And so I asked her, why do you feel so much pressure? And so one story led to another, and I asked her to actually speak openly with her husband, because that's the exact same thing that I had to do to actually get myself out of this situation. I actually had to go and see my husband and say, this is like, and really show all the parts that I didn't want him to see, right? All the parts that I was fighting so hard to hide from him, so that he doesn't see that part of me, so that I don't feel the shame, right? Because I had shame that was associated with that. I had shame associated with the fact that I'm not pulling my weight. Right? I had shame associated with that. And so the moment that I released that, the moment that I said, listen, this is what's going on, this is what I've been struggling with, and this is why I've been hiding it from you, not only did it create more intimacy between my husband and I, right? Because whenever, like I've shared these stories before where like I'll buy something and then I'll hide from my husband. I'll put it in the garage, for example, because I wasn't owning my own truth, because I wasn't owning my value, right? Like I wasn't also owning the fact that I can trust my own desires, right? And so just because of that, when I shared that with him, it brought us closer. Like it was like, oh my God, I didn't know you were going through all this and blah blah blah. Because what was happening when I was fighting so hard was that I was splitting us, whether I knew it or not. I was splitting us, right? I wasn't sharing all of me with him. I wasn't sharing all of me with him, and in our mind, actually, right? The other thing that I have to say about this, when in our mind, when we are in that state of mind, it's like his money is his money, right? That's how we think. Whatever he brings in because of his income, it's his money, and so it's not my money. Right? And so there's a clear separation in our mind like that, right? But our true self doesn't want separation. Our true self wants to be one with the world, actually, and our true self wants to be one to our souls. Our true self wants to be one with everybody, let alone with our significant other, our spouses, our husbands, our girlfriends, boyfriend, whatever, right? That's what our true self wants. And so when we are doing that, when we are thinking, okay, whatever he earns, this is where it actually became a kicker for me. Whatever, if I'm thinking whatever he earns, it's his money, and then whatever I earn is my money. Where it became tricky with my soul, that this is where my conflicts start coming in, and this is why I couldn't actually make money at the time, was that, oh, that means that when I make my money, this is my money, and I'm going to have it all, right? And that's not exactly what I want. Right? But in the same token, when I could say, hey, this is what I'm going through right now, I wanted to share that with you just so you know. And at the same time, I know that whatever I'm doing right now, it's for us, right? Then it becomes united as opposed to really separate. Hi, Charlotte, how are you? Nice to see you. As opposed to living separated lives, as opposed to living separate lives, financially, emotionally, and stuff like that. And so that is why, in my opinion, right, does it work with some other people to be able to do it that way and then create financial income in their businesses? I'm sure some people are able to do it, but what kind of conflict is it creating in their mind, in their heart? I don't know, right? But I know that, and that worked for me, and that worked for my client also. I know that once I decided, listen, instead of me trying to fight by myself in this, and know that whatever I'm doing, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for all of us. I'm doing it for me, for our family, and ultimately for the world, right? Not just for me. Then it became so much easier to share it with him, and once I did that, it was so much simpler, right? It was so much simpler. So the very one thing that we may be fighting so hard for, like financial independence, emotional independence. I don't think many of us don't consciously want to have emotional, hi Janet, emotional independence, but we create it. We kind of get ourselves in that situation, because if we are not willing to share with our partner, for example, what's going on, and I am so guilty of this, again, I can only share these things with you because I've been through them, right? I can only share these things with you because I have been through them, because whenever we are we have so much stress, about business and stuff like that, we think it's just us that it's impacting, but it's impacting your entire family. It's impacting your kids, it's impacting your husband, it's your spouse, it's impacting everybody in your family. But the moment that you can share with them, not necessarily the kids, but the moment that you can share that, not only does it create more intimacy, but also the other thing that it does is actually, in my opinion, the way that it helped me was now it lifted that pressure of I have to put up this front, I have to show as if okay, everything is going okay, when there's something that is not going okay, right? Then I can just let go and then just work towards, right? It relieves that pressure, removes that block, if you want to call it that block, if you want to call it that. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. The things that we fight so hard for are the things that the things that we fight so hard to avoid are the exact same thing that we keep recreating unless we make peace with them. unless we make peace with them. That's just food for thought. That's just food for thought for this weekend and for today. So on that token, the past few days, the past few couple of weeks, actually, I've been really sharing a lot about growing your business as an online coach or spiritual coach or anything like that, online entrepreneur. Why? Because it's really my passion. I feel like this is how we will eventually, all of us, heal the world. Will be for us to not only work on our own awakenings, work on our own growth, but also use that growth, that awakening, those awakenings that we create from working on ourselves, and reach as many people as possible in the world with that, and then make an impact with our own awakening. And once we do that, imagine if each single one of that, which I'm not saying every single person has to do the same, but in a way that's how we impact each other, and that's how we impact the world. When we change the world. When we share our awakenings, we change the world, right? And so one of the easiest ways that I have come to know to reach thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, if not millions of people in the world doing that, and really exponentially growing yourself, right? Exponentially growing yourself. One of the easiest ways that I have come to see is using the internet, using the online platform to really market yourself, to really put yourself out there, make a change in the world, make money doing it, and exponentially speed up your own personal development and personal growth. And so I've been focusing a lot on my private coaching for business coaching the past couple of weeks. Why? Because I feel like more and more people, because it's not as hard as people think, right? When I first started, initially I was like, oh my God, I'll never be able to do this. But here I am 2 years later, and my business has grown incredibly, so much to the point where I don't even know what to say about that, right? My biggest dream, I keep talking about this, the point where my biggest dream, and it happened twice already, my biggest dream of having people come to my event, to an event of fly in from everywhere, from across the world, so that they can experience the world of energy that I wanted to share with them. That has been very incredible, right? If anybody asks me, I feel like that's the biggest achievement that I've done in my business so far up until now. Why? Because it's my goal. It's my goal to share that part of myself. And how did I do that? By using the online platform, right? Every single one that was there was that has come, and I've done it twice already. That has come to my event, has come because they saw me online, right? It is such a powerful platform to use. And what I'm doing now is really focusing on getting just a couple more, right? Because I already have a couple of private clients, just a couple more private clients to fill in my my practice, because one just finished their programs with me recently. So that's what's going on. So if you're interested, and if you are somebody that is really growth driven, and you feel like you have some awakenings, you feel like you have some gifts that you can utilize to impact the people's lives in the world, and you've been stuck oh, okay, you don't know how to do it, or perhaps you've been already touching in here and there, and trying to do it on your own, or maybe you've been on some other programs, but you haven't gotten results and stuff like that, but you really want to have an impact utilizing this online platform, reaching out and really finding those, I call them your soul's clients, right? I really truly believe that every single client that I have is my soul's client, right? They didn't just drop off out of nowhere. It's because they are my soul's clients, right? And I believe that every single one of us has souls that are waiting for you to rise up, so that they can know that you are the one that can help them. that you are the one that can help them. So what I do is help you rise up, help you rise up so that those people can recognize you on the online platform, recognize you and say, oh my gosh, she's the one I've been waiting for. And this happens to me all the time. This happens to me all the time. I have group programs now, and I also have private coaching, and I have my events and stuff like that. A lot has happened in the past 2 years, right? If you feel like you want to create something like that for yourself and have such an impact, right? Not for anybody else really, but again, in the process, right? In the process, you will grow exponentially. Right? I think that's the most beautiful part of this whole thing, is that in the process you grow so much, right? And I truly believe that the one thing that all of us want, right, regardless of where we are from, right, regardless of whether we are from Africa like me, you are from Africa like me, or regardless of whether you are from Germany like Charlotte, or where are you, Magnifique? Are you you're not in Switzerland? Are you in Switzerland? Perhaps, right? Regardless of where you are, or where you were born, or where you live now, regardless of all that, one thing I know for sure, one thing I know 100% for sure is that what we are all seeking for is not a bigger house. It's not, although those things are very nice also, it's not like a better car, although that's nice also, right? Why not enjoy ourselves on planet Earth while we are here? But ultimately, those are not the things that we strive for the most. What we really want, whether we are aware of it or not, what we want the most is the ability to find true and pure and unconditional love, not from somebody else to us, but from ourselves to ourselves, right? From ourselves to ourselves. And this is like hands down, right? You can get training from somebody, you can change your energy, you can do a lot of things to uncover that part, but ultimately, how we grow through unconditional, impossible, unimaginable love for ourselves is by being of service to others, right? Is by being of service to others. You will awaken in ways that you cannot even possibly imagine. Right? Because you haven't been there yet. And once you're there, like, oh my God, and sometimes it can get scary, of course. Sometimes it can get crazy and insane and scary and all that. But that's okay, right? It's a part of the journey, and it's part of the fun, actually. That's how I look at it now. It's a part of the fun. It's part of the fun. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. One of the things that happens when you are in the process is that sometimes there are things that you get yourself stuck in your own paradigm, right? In your own stories, that and when you are in those stories, you cannot actually see. It just doesn't even make sense to you, right? You can't get yourself out of it, right? One of the things that I am really good at when it comes to coaching my clients is to help them really pick themselves out of their paradigms and then become the observer and look at it from another perspective, so that they can actually get themselves out of it and then keep moving so that they can grow their business the way that they want to grow it. And of course, income is good, right? 5K is good, 10K is good, 20K is good for a month. But for me, like, honestly, the most important part is, number one, the impact that we have on other people's lives, and number two, all right, I don't know which one comes, it's not in like an order, but number two, like how exponentially you will grow just by doing this. And many of you who are here or who watch this video, you have surely, right, seen me from like 2 years ago when I started to now. And you can tell that it's not the same Tehessa, even though it's the same name and it's whatever. But I have found so much more confidence in me. I have found so much more love for myself, throughout this process. So that's why I encourage everybody that's hesitating, right, to do this, to just do it. Again, so if you want support in this, please go to, just email me or message me, or you know, like, whatever. You know how to get in touch with me. You can do that. You can make a comment on this video or like direct message me or something like that, and then we'll get going. All right, that's it. I have to go pick up my boys now, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye, Charlotte. I love the lovey-dovey eyes. Bye. Talk to you later. Bye, Magnifique. Bye, everybody. Bye, Natalie. I love you.